And this is very deliberate. The process of conducting an election is a statutory process. It is set out in statute. It is not an issue that is left to determination by the commissioners in a meeting of plenary as they have suggested. And so, my lords, the assumption by the petitioners that the commission refers to the commission is wrong and belies the case that has been brought before you. And so, my lords, the next issue that I want to deal with is the question of the role of the commission versus the role of the chairperson. My lords, under Article 138(3)(c), as I've said, the role of the commission, not the commissioners, is just to tally and verify the results. Sorry, and what is important here is this. My lords, and to respond maybe to my learned senior Jan Mohammed, the results of the vote at the polling station are made on the same day. The decision as to who members or the electorate will elect is made at the polling station, and the outcome of the voting is determined on the same day. It is filled in Form 34A. It is pasted on the doors of each and every polling station. Now, the important thing here is that there is not a single affidavit or evidence that has been placed before you by anybody who says that the results that were pasted on the doors of every polling station, the Form 34A, is different from the ones that were announced or declared by the chairperson at the National Tallying Center. And this brings us to what the courts have said consistently, that the results as announced by the polling, by the presiding officers at the polling stations are final. Once those results have been declared, the voter knows that in my polling station, which had a maximum of 700 voters, the outcome of that vote was this candidate A got so many votes, candidate B got so many votes, and so on. So the result is known after the close of voting, when the counts are tallied by the presiding officers. And then, my lords, there is Article 138(10), which places an obligation on the chairperson to, within 7 days after the presidential election, to declare the result of the election. Now, my lords and my ladies, there is nothing strange about the provisions of Article 138(10). Declaration of the result, as was held in the Joho case, declaration of result is done in 3 stages. The first declaration is done at the polling station. If the argument by the commissioners was correct that the declaration requires to be approved, it would then mean that even the result that is declared at the polling station would require the consent of the commissioners. It would mean that the results declared at the constituency tallying center would require the consent or approval of the commissioners. It would mean that the results declared at the county tallying center would require the participation consent of the commissioners. That would introduce what this court has been avoiding all along, which is human interference with the process of tallying, verifying, and declaring results. And my lords, I'll just discuss a few cases that show why these considerations are important, and I'll start with the case of Maina Kiai. My lords, in that case, the court stated that, sorry, my lord, let me start with the Raila Odinga versus IEBC, the 2017 decision. At paragraph 287, it says, the duty to verify in Article 138 is squarely placed upon the IEBC, and this duty runs all the way from the polling station to the constituency level and finally to the National Tallying Center. There is no disjuncture in the performance of the duty to verify. It's exercised by various agents, that is to say the presiding officer at the polling station, the returning officer at the constituency level, and the chair at the National Tallying Center. Nowhere in that decision do you hear reference to members of the commission. It refers to specific officers whose duty it is to verify and declare the results.